Rick Barnes and his guys, also 11th in the country, according to the Associated Press. I talked to Danny White, the athletic director, after the game, and he told me, listen, Tim, those field goal posts, they're already on campus. So they came prepared for what the Vol fans did tonight. That was the MAC. This is the ACC. Josh Heupel is in Knoxville, plane landing just a few minutes ago. Absolutely bone-chilling cold out here. I heard Ken talking about sleet.
Maybe put some sweets or something up there. Is that kind of in the work? Or
yeah.
Is that what you want?
The 52 points that Tennessee scored, that's the most points that Alabama has given up in any single game since 1907.
I'm going to go back to your childhood. When did you know that baseball was your first love?
There have been some struggles since Scott Cummings' first year leading Oak Ridge.
Have you talked to any scouts or anything? What are they telling you?
Clinton quarterback Joshua Keith was the Friday Frenzy Player of the Week. They just have to do the ordinary things at a high level. SEC Media Day took place today down in Birmingham. The Vols picked to finish third in the conference behind Kentucky and Arkansas. Rick Barnes and his guys, also 11th in the country, according to the Associated Press. Tennessee with 3 players on the preseason SEC teams, including a pair of seniors in the first-teamer, Santiago Vescovi, and second-teamer, Josiah Jordan-James. And these two are a big reason for the hype around this program, and Barnes says not only are they a big reason for the success, he'd like to have them around for even longer.
Those guys have meant a lot to our program. Josiah came in at a time when we were really at a tough time, or we were in a transition period there, but he's seen us grow probably as much as anybody. And Santi came in that year, and we thought we were going to redshirt him, but because of Lamonte injury, we had to push him right in there, and he's never looked back.
Barnes went on to say those two guys bring stability and leadership to the Vols. Sophomore guard Zakai Ziegler was also named a second-teamer. On the football field, Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel has been added to the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year watch list. Heupel and the Vols are coming off the program's biggest win in a couple of decades with Saturday's win over Alabama. After taking over a program in disarray, Heupel has the Vols 6-0 and ranked 3rd in the country. On the high school level, after dropping 3 straight early in the season, the Fulton Falcons have really turned things around. They've won 3 of their last 4 games and are currently in 2nd place in the region standings. Head coach Jeff McMillan says the Falcons are growing up right before our eyes.
We've come a long way since we first started. We're doing things now that we weren't able to do early, and we started out really slow against Scott County, but then when we got it turned on and we did some things really well and ended up winning the game like we wanted to.
The competition ramps up this week as the 4A Falcons go on the road to take on a really good 6A Farragut team who's also on a 5-game winning streak.
Kellyanne, while it was a disappointing loss today, it's still a special day, especially for the Tennessee baseball dads. They've been going to ballparks with their kids on Father's Day, from T-ball all the way up to now at TD Ameritrade Stadium here in Omaha. I spoke with several of the dads today, Pete Durkay's dad, Camden Sewell's dad, and they tell me that this, being here and watching their kid play in Omaha on Father's Day is just special.
Happy Father's Day. Love you. Thank you for everything.
Hey, happy Father's Day. Let's go. Go Big Orange.
I love him very much. I'm glad he's here.
Good luck, Coach. Good luck.
You want your kids to live out their dream and to be part of the dream and to share it with the other families. You just can't put a price on that.
Lots of emotion from all the Tennessee baseball dads today. And again, it was disappointing on the field, but it's still a special day for those young men and their fathers. Now, Tennessee going to have to bounce back quickly here as they'll take on, as Kellyanne said, the loser of this game that's about to start here at TD Ameritrade between Mississippi State and Texas on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Reporting live here in Omaha, I'm Tim Owens. Back to you.
Yeah, Reese, as you said, we're here in Hoover, Alabama for the SEC baseball tournament where the Vols are the #1 seed. And you said it. The fan base here, Vol Nation, has been loud and they have been absolutely proud. There are so many Vol fans here. And last night, if you were watching the game broadcast, you could hear the Vol fans over the Vandy fans, including that Vandy whistler, where Vol fans shut him down absolutely, and they are absolutely proud of it
Here's how it went down.
We've been thinking. Who hasn't been thinking forever? How are we going to shut this guy up?
There was a guy in front of us, and he's a good heckler, but he's kind of quiet. Well, we're kind of loud.
Turns right. So you know what we need to do? Every time we hear the whistle, 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 we need to fire back with Go Big Orange.
He started his whistling stuff, and then you could hear a few Tennessee fans yell, Go Big Orange.
It's the first time we did it, there was 3 of us. Go Big Orange.
And then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 people behind us joined. And then by like the 5th whistle,
it was all of All Nation that just flooded that place with Go Big Orange.
Eventually that shut him up and led to him not whistling anymore the rest of the game.
Now that didn't stop them picking back at that Vandy whistler. They went into the game again today, and every time he whistled, they shouted, Go Big Orange. Here comes the guys right here. They were giving the Vandy whistler a hard time. Now the Vols, they will play tonight against LSU. That's the 4th game of the day. It's going to happen right around 9 o'clock tonight Eastern time. Reporting live in Hoover, I'm Tim Owens. Reese, back to you.
It feels pretty good, I'll say that. Yeah. Maybe not 105 yet, but we'll see.
Zach Joyce is back with the Tennessee baseball team, but it wasn't an easy road. After having Tommy John surgery on his right arm in January 2021, he struggled with his mental health.
I was kind of honestly depressed, had some pretty bad anxiety going on, so I just had to step away a little bit.
At first, Joyce blamed baseball.
It's a thing that happens, you know, and you can try to blame it on something, but it was more just, you know, falling back on people that supported me. Talking about it was one of the biggest things. There you go.
Joyce is one of nearly 20% of Americans who suffer from an anxiety disorder, and he wasn't sure how to deal with it.
Your mind just kind of starts racing, and it's like you kind of like takes you out of the present situation, because a lot of the stuff like you end up like panicking about or whatever, it's stuff that's not true.
He hopes his story will help remove the stigma related to male athletes talking about their mental health.
It's actually a lot more common than people think, but it's especially with like playing baseball and stuff, it was kind of hard to talk about, because I know I've heard some other people talk about it. You say like the male athletes, you don't really like expect it, but a lot of people go through it.
After his surgery, Joyce stayed away from baseball.
That year, actually, I didn't watch a single game.
But he started getting the itch again, watching his brother Ben dominate coming out of the Tennessee bullpen this season.
It was hard to watch, like not be down there, so I was like, man, I gotta try. You know, taking that break kind of made me realize how much I did miss the game and how much I love baseball.
Joyce was motivated to get back on the baseball field, so he started throwing again at Farragut High School.
My high school coach was watching, and then it kind of started spreading around. And I think Coach Anderson actually heard about it before I was going to tell him. And so we ended up talking about it, and he was like, yeah, man, we're just happy you feel better.
Zach Joyce has a new outlook on the sport he loves and the life he lives.
It's honestly probably the best it's ever felt.
Reporting at Farragut High School, I'm Tim Owens.
The Kentucky Derby is the most prestigious horse racing event in America. And for one Knoxville man, a road trip some 50 years ago started a dream he's living out this weekend.
Dreams come true in Knoxville, Tennessee.
For Mike Carver and 2 of his UT fraternity brothers, the dream started in 1971 at the Kentucky Derby.
That year in 71, Canonero 2 won it. He was a long shot. And the 3 of us just happened to wager on that horse.
Canonero the second takes over the lead.
It would be 50 years before he tested that luck again.
The pageantry and the fun and the excitement, it was just overwhelming.
Only this time with his own horse, Obesos, qualified to participate in the Run for the Roses.
I start crying to have an opportunity to win the Kentucky Derby. I'm just so blessed.
Carver isn't relying on luck or chance this time around. Obesos was a choice. His sire Orb won the Kentucky Derby in 2013.
Orb has won the Kentucky Derby!
But it was his dam, Snugs and Kisses, that sealed the deal.
I look at my own family, and my 4 kids, their best characteristics are all from my wife, not from me.
Snugs and Kisses was also successful on the track.
Snugs and Kisses had placed in 21 out of 32 races and won some long distance races and had won 12 times.
Snugs and Kisses has now seized control.
Carver says while he's happy to have a horse in the Kentucky Derby, they're not going to Louisville to lose.
Game on, as far as I'm concerned. We're not scared of anybody in this race.
But to win, Obesos needs 3 things to break his way.
We need to move forward a little bit from the Louisiana Derby. We need a good trip. You know, there's 20 horses. We don't need to get banged around too much at the start. We need a good trip. And then, like you said, we need pace.
And if those 3 things happen on Saturday?
Can you imagine if we can pull this thing off? And I think we've got a real shot. I really do.
Dreams may be born in Louisville, but if you ask Carver.
Like I said, dreams come true, Knoxville, Tennessee.